You ever watch your child sit in silence when you know they want to scream? That silence, it ain't peace. It's pressure. It's every dream, every ounce of dignity held back like a dam about to break. That was my son, Malik, that day in court. And that laugh, that damn laugh from the lawyer across the aisle, was the match that lit something in him. Something that even I didn't know was there. It started 2 months ago. Malik had just turned 17. Tall, lanky, with the kind of eyes that looked past what you see. Like he could already see the house he wanted to design, the community he wanted to rebuild. My boy don't hang with crowds. He studies, he sketches, he dreams. Then, one Saturday, we're at home watching the game and cops pull up. Guns drawn. No knock, no warning. They say Malik matches the description of someone who broke into a house in the next town over. All I could say was, "Are you kidding me?" But they weren't. They cuffed him on our porch, in front of our neighbors, my son, my pride, treated like a criminal for being a black teen in a hoodie. We got a public defender who barely looked Malik in the eye. Didn't ask questions, just said, "Let's see what kind of deal we can get." I told him no. Malik told him no. "I'm not guilty," he said. "I'm not going to plead like I am." Court day came. I'll never forget it. The courtroom was cold, not just in temperature, but in spirit. The prosecutor, white man in an expensive suit, southern drawl, thick as syrup, smirked when he saw us. I saw it. Malik saw it. When Malik sat down at the defendant's table, that lawyer laughed, loud enough for folks in the gallery to hear. He leaned over to the bailiff and said, "Guess they'll let anyone try to dress up nowadays." He was talking about Malik's only dress shirt, a hand-me-down I ironed myself the night before. I stood up, heart pounding, but Malik touched my arm. He whispered, "Don't. Let me do this." The prosecutor started with all his usual tricks, painting Malik as a troubled youth, showed a grainy video clip from a doorbell cam, somebody in a hoodie running past a bush. That's it. That's what they had. They never found stolen items, no fingerprints, nothing. When it came time for Malik to speak, I saw his hands shaking, but his voice steady. "Your Honor," he began, "I am not a criminal. I'm a son, a student, an aspiring architect." He told the judge about the day of the break-in, how he was at the library prepping for his SATs. He named the librarian, quoted the chapters he studied, even had a sketchbook in his backpack. He opened it in front of the court and showed pages of bridges, homes, even a community center he dreamed of building back in our neighborhood. The courtroom grew quiet. Even the prosecutor stopped smirking. Then Malik looked that man dead in the eyes and said, "You laughed at me because of where I'm from, because of how I dress. But where I'm from taught me resilience, and what I wear doesn't change who I am." I felt it. Like the whole room took a breath together. The judge looked at Malik with something I didn't expect. Respect. That same day, the judge ruled there wasn't enough evidence to proceed. Malik was free to go, but the lawyer, the one who laughed, he couldn't even meet our eyes. He tried to offer a half-hearted apology as we left. I told him, "You didn't just try to break my son. You reminded him of the world we're still fighting against, and he still rose." But what broke me wasn't just the relief. It was what Malik asked me in the car. "Dad, how many times is this gonna happen to me?" I didn't have an answer. All I could do was grip the steering wheel tight and say, "Enough times for you to change it. That's why you build. That's why you speak." That day left a scar on both of us. Malik doesn't wear hoodies much anymore. And me, I walk a little more guarded. But I also saw something awaken in him. Not bitterness. Purpose. He started tutoring other kids in the neighborhood. Started posting his designs online. One of his videos went viral. He called it, "What Justice Could Look Like in Brick and Stone." But as proud as I am, the world ain't done testing him, or me. And I know that laugh we heard in court. That's just one of many we'll hear in different forms, in different rooms. Last week, Malik got an email from a private firm. Said they wanted to mentor him. Said they'd seen his sketches and were interested in urban revitalization. But something about that email didn't sit right with me, especially after I found out who sent it. It was the same lawyer, the same man who laughed. And this time, he's got a new plan. You ever sit at the dinner table with your child and watch them stare off? Not lost in thought, but caught in memory? That's been Malik every night since the trial. He won, yes. But some wins leave bruises, bruises you don't see. And that email, from the same lawyer who tried to tear him down, wasn't just a surprise. It felt like a setup, a storm, hiding in sunshine. We read the message together. It was smooth, full of compliments. The firm said they were deeply impressed by Malik's vision. They wanted him to come in, meet the team, possibly offer a summer mentorship. But I remembered that man's laugh, the condescension in his eyes. You don't forget something like that. Malik, though, he looked curious. Maybe he changed, he said. I couldn't argue with him. But I reminded him, son, don't confuse opportunity with apology. Still, Malik wanted to go. I need to see for myself, he said. If I want to rebuild the world, I gotta understand the cracks. We pulled up to the firm. A towering building, glass walls, polished steps, designed to impress. The receptionist greeted Malik like he was expected, like he belonged. That part was new. I stayed in the lobby. He went up alone. 20 minutes passed, then 30. I paced, looked at the architecture, the white walls lined with awards. I couldn't shake it. This wasn't just an office. It was a place built on control, power. The same power that almost shattered my son. When Malik finally came back down, his face was hard to read. Calm, but thoughtful. He wants me to help design their urban outreach project, Malik said. They want to revitalize underserved neighborhoods. But he asked me something strange. I waited. Malik looked at me like he was choosing his words carefully. He said, "How would you sell change to people who don't believe in the system anymore?" I froze. That wasn't mentorship, that was manipulation. That night, Malik couldn't sleep. Neither could I. I pulled out my laptop and started digging. The firm had money, lots of it. And the project they mentioned? It wasn't about community. It was about gentrification. They were planning to buy up land in historically black neighborhoods, slap on a mural, and call it progress. And this lawyer? He wasn't just a member of the team. He was heading the entire initiative. Malik sat beside me, watching as the pieces fell together. They don't want my ideas, he said. They want my face, my story, a token to sell their version of justice. The next day, Malik called the firm, said he had questions, asked for a second meeting, but this time he brought a portfolio. Not of homes or community centers, but of history. Sketches of homes lost to eminent domain, charts of rising rent in our city, stories of families displaced in the name of development. And then, he showed them his own redesign of their entire plan, this time centered on community ownership, local hiring, and preserving cultural landmarks. He said, "You want me to sell change? Then we start by giving people ownership of their own future." The room was quiet. Some faces went blank, others uncomfortable. But the lawyer, he leaned back and smiled. That same smile from the courtroom. "You're passionate," he said, "but passion doesn't always make profit." Malik stood up. "Then maybe your profit isn't worth my purpose." We walked out together. This time, it was Malik who gripped my arm. "You were right, Dad," he said. "Some scars remind you where you've been. Others show you who you'll never be." He posted his full presentation online that night, tagged it with, "Urban development starts with dignity." And once again, it went viral. But it also caught attention. The kind that doesn't clap for you. The kind that watches. 2 nights ago, someone knocked on our door. No police this time. No yelling. Just a plain envelope. No return address. Inside was a photo of me, of Malik, walking out of that law firm, and written across it in thick black ink. Some people don't know when to stay in their place.